Hello dear viewer, in today's video, we will learn a little more about the fascinating life of one of the most remarkable kings in history, Solomon. This is the invitation to an epic journey full of wisdom, achievements, and challenges. Solomon, whose name means the peaceful one, was the second son of King David of Israel, the one chosen by God and one of his last wives, Bathsheba, and although he was not the first in the line of succession, he was invested king when he was about 15 years old, before his father died. But before we delve into the incredible story of Solomon, we need to set the scene. Imagine yourself around the years 971 to 931 BC, in the heart of Israel, a kingdom where intrigue, family plots, and the formidable challenge of leading a nation intertwine. We are about to unravel the mysteries of this extraordinary period. Ready to learn more about the story of Solomon? Let's tell this story in detail, from the rise to his prosperous reign, but culminating in the decline and consequences. Intense family dynamics. Solomon's story on a stage of family drama, where intrigues unfold like scenes from an epic film. Absalom, Solomon's half-brother, unsuccessfully tries to usurp David's throne. Adonijah, another son of David, after Absalom's failure, dares to proclaim himself king. The atmosphere is tense. King David, already elderly and weakened, sees his sons involved in a fight for the throne. Adonijah organizes a coronation festival, defying David's promise about Solomon. Tension in the royal family reaches its peak. At this critical moment, Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, and the prophet Nathan enter the scene. Together, they work behind the scenes to ensure that the divine promise of Solomon succeeding David is remembered and fulfilled. An intricate plot unfolds. Israel's fate hangs in the balance. When David learns of Adonijah's plan, Bathsheba and Nathan act quickly to ensure that Solomon is crowned. Even though he has not yet reached 18 years of age, Solomon assumes the throne at a critical moment in Israel's history. The first years of Solomon's reign unfold amid challenges and intrigue. The shadow of his half-brother's previous attempts still hangs over the kingdom. It is in this turbulent context that Solomon begins his government, facing not only family challenges, but also questions about his own legitimacy. Prosperous reign, strategic prowess, and achievements. With Solomon firmly on the throne, Israel witnesses an era of prosperity like never before. Solomon, gifted with sagacity, takes strategic measures to strengthen the kingdom. He introduces chariots and cavalry, modernizing Israel's army. Solomon not only strengthens security but also transforms Israel's economy. He controls strategic trade routes, organizing key points to maximize trade. Silver flows like water in the kingdom, making it a center of wealth and trade in the region. Administrative reorganization, deepening into internal administration. Solomon reorganizes Israel into 12 administrative districts. Each district, with an officer appointed by the king, is responsible for providing sustenance for the court during the year. An innovative strategy to ensure stability and prosperity. Life at court. Life in Solomon's court, an organized and opulent machine. His assistants, called princes, play crucial roles in administration. The daily grocery list is extravagant, feeding not just royalty but the entire court. Military advancements and diplomacy. Militarily, Solomon not only modernizes his forces but also establishes border fortresses to protect trade routes. His diplomacy is notable, with significant trade agreements with figures such as Hiram, king of Tyre, who provided crucial materials in exchange for generous quantities of wheat and olive oil. Maritime commerce and unparalleled riches. The height of prosperity, Solomon's maritime trade. His boats explore the seas, bringing incomparable riches. Journeys that last years, accumulating wealth through fees, taxes, and international trade. Solomon becomes one of the richest men in history. These specific details of Solomon's prosperous reign, from military and commercial achievements to luxurious court life. This adds a fuller dimension to the understanding of Solomon's time. This is the reign of Solomon, an age of splendor and conquest. The setting is that of a vibrant, rich, and strategically positioned kingdom. But, like all golden ages, Solomon's prosperity also brings challenges and questions. One of the great challenges was the Temple of Jerusalem, the fulfillment of the promise, the culmination of Solomon's reign, the monumental construction of the Temple of Jerusalem. It is an achievement that goes beyond architecture. It is the fulfillment of a promise made to David and a physical manifestation of the presence of God. Construction challenges. Before erecting this majestic building, Solomon faces significant challenges. Construction logistics demand extraordinary resources, from tons of gold to the finest wood in Lebanon. The process is monumental and requires unprecedented effort. Mount Moriah, where David had built an altar to the Lord, becomes the holy site. This mountain, with deep roots in the history of Abraham and Isaac, is the location chosen for the construction of the temple, symbolizing the continuity of the divine covenant. For construction, Solomon uses a diverse workforce. In addition to the Israelites, subjugated Canaanite peoples are summoned. This use of forced labor, although effective, is not without controversy and challenges ethics. After years of effort, the temple is finally completed. In the 11th year of Solomon's reign, a grand dedication ceremony is held. Abundant sacrifices mark the event, symbolizing the consecration of this unique place. In addition to the temple, Solomon leaves his mark on other notable buildings: the House of the Forest of Lebanon, an imposing portico of columns, and even a residence for the daughter of the Pharaoh of Egypt. The grandeur is not limited to the temple. The temple is not just a physical structure. He represents the spiritual heart of Israel. Cultic practices, the role of priests, and the special relationship between God and his people are centralized in this sacred place. We were amazed by the grandeur of the temple in Jerusalem, a construction that goes beyond the material, reflecting faith, the divine promise, and the grandeur of Solomon's reign. The dream and the quest for wisdom. Entering the world of Solomon's mind, we are led to his remarkable dream. God manifests himself, offering you any desire. In an act of humility, Solomon asks for wisdom. This is the beginning of an extraordinary intellectual journey. Solomon's wisdom is lived and demonstrated in an iconic episode. Two mothers dispute the motherhood of a newborn without witnesses. Solomon, cunningly, proposes dividing the child in half to resolve the impasse. The true mother reveals herself, highlighting Solomon's mastery of discernment. Solomon's wisdom is so notable for Solomon's vast literary contribution. Thousands of proverbs and chants emanate from his brilliant mind. Proverbs that transcend time, offering practical wisdom about life, justice, and human relationships. Solomon does not limit himself to human issues. His wisdom extends to understanding nature. He talks about trees, animals, birds, reptiles, and fish. A broad vision that reflects not just knowledge, but a deep appreciation for divine creation. The fame of Solomon's wisdom transcends borders. Kings and queens of all lands seek to hear wisdom from him. The remarkable visit of the Queen of Sheba is a highlight, where she, intrigued, subjects Solomon to complex riddles and questions, and gets all the answers. The extraordinary mind of Solomon. His wisdom goes beyond the intellect. It shapes laws, solves dilemmas, and attracts the attention of the world's leaders. However, Solomon's wisdom is sometimes overshadowed by his choices in married life. His strategic marriages, including with the daughter of the Pharaoh of Egypt, reveal a political side to his relationships, but also introduce external influences. Decline and consequences. At this stage in Solomon's reign, clouds of challenges begin to darken the scene. His reign, initially marked by prosperity, now faces internal threat. Discontent accumulates, fueled by heavy taxes and a system that burdens the people. Solomon's polygamy, although a common practice among kings of the time, but not God's will, becomes a turning point. His relationship with foreign women leads to the introduction of other gods in Israel, triggering a spiritual crisis. The specter of the past resurfaces with Adonijah, David's son, trying again to usurp the throne. Solomon, to consolidate his reign, orders the death of Adonijah and Joab, in addition to the banishment of Abiathar. Solomon's firmness reveals the complexity of politics and justice in his reign. In addition to internal threats, Solomon faces external pressure. Surrounding enemies test the stability of your reign. Rebellions and internal dissatisfaction create a tense atmosphere, and the empire built with so much effort begins to show crack. As Solomon faces challenges, his legacy becomes ambiguous. The wealth and wisdom that once elevated him are now overshadowed by the shadows of decline. The divine promise of a lasting reign is put to the test. Surprisingly, in the midst of all this, divine justice is temporarily postponed. God, in his mercy, suspends total judgment during Solomon's lifetime, perhaps as a testimony to the promise made to David. The Bible does not detail Solomon's death, but we know that he leaving a weakened kingdom. What seemed like an unshakable empire now faces uncertainty, challenges, and a vulnerability that will resonate with future generations. We look at the complexities of Solomon's reign, a reign that began with grandiose promises, but which, in the end, revealed human weaknesses and the consequences of choices that echoed through time. As we learn more about Solomon's life, we are confronted with a complex legacy woven between glory and shadows. His reign, marked by prosperity, wisdom, and grandeur, also reveals human frailties and the inevitable consequences of the choices made. Solomon, even with his extraordinary wisdom, was not immune to the pitfalls of ambition, foreign influence, and internal challenges. His choices left profound marks, not only on his life, but on the destiny of a kingdom that one day rose with splendor. Remarkably, even in the face of Solomon's failures, divine mercy postpones full judgment during his lifetime, a pause that testifies to God's commitment to the promises made to David, but also points to a postponement, not an exemption, of the kingdom's destiny. Beyond the biblical record, Solomon has become a figure shrouded in varying interpretations and post-biblical legends. From his supposed mystical abilities to his romantic relationships, subsequent narratives have shaped a picture that goes beyond what is recorded in Scripture. In exploring the story of Solomon, we face the challenge of historical interpretation. Archaeological excavations and recent discoveries continue to contribute to our understanding, but we are also reminded of the limitations and nuances inherent in interpreting such ancient events. Solomon's story transcends time, echoing in tradition and the collective imagination. Whether as the wise king who built a magnificent temple or as the man whose choices triggered a decline, Solomon remains an intriguing and multifaceted character. As we close this narrative, we are invited to reflect on the lessons drawn from Solomon's life. His journey, with its ups and downs, offers us insights into the complexity of leadership, the intersection of power and wisdom, and the importance of ethical choices. Thank you for following this journey through Solomon's life. Every detail revealed distinct facets of a king who left a lasting impact on history. In our next videos, we will explore other fascinating characters from the past, so take advantage and subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Until then, may the search for understanding continue to inspire us.